thought about this over the last couple of days, and the more I think about it, the more I realize that I need to say something about it, because it really has been kind of weighing heavily on me.
Arrive at Yorktown Battlefield.
Around 10 a.m. on October 17th, a drummer followed by an officer waving a white handkerchief emerged from the British Works. The officer carried a dispatch for Washington. The message formalized proposed a cessation of hostilities to allow representatives to meet and discuss terms for surrender. The United States had effectively won its independence.
I found a place in Virginia. The place was called Big Survey Wildlife Management Area. And one of the things that I did in order to stay at wildlife management areas was I did the research on what is required to be there. And one of the things that's required, or at least what I read online, is that you have to have a permit to camp. And the permit to camp is free. There is a online process, and you get a customer number, and if you want to hunt, you can buy a license to hunt or fish, or whatever. But what I failed to do originally, and I understood, the first officer that came by and instructed me on what I needed to do, I did immediately, online, on my phone, pretty much as they left. And what it was is, it's more than just getting the customer number, getting the permit and the customer number, but you have to actually go in and say, I want to camp at this location during this time. And in order to do that, you also have to pay, I think it's a $4 fee. So it's free to camp. You have to pay a $4 fee for a park entrance fee. Well, there was a choice between like an entrance fee, and you could buy a permit for $4 for camping in national forests for a year. Well, I already have that because I have the access pass. So I thought that it would be redundant to buy an annual pass to camp in national forests, if I already have an access pass that authorizes me to camp in national forests, or for that matter, national parks, national recreation areas, etc. So I went in and did the day access, and then I got the permit well beyond what I was planning on staying. From the time that first officer came with his partner, that's two. So from the time that those two officers came, both, by the way, at that first encounter, both got out of the vehicle and came up to me, and we had what I would consider a relatively cordial conversation, educational. One of the things that one of the officers did that kind of bothered me, but there's really not much you can do about that when you're in a public place. If they walk up to your vehicle and look in your window, just like if I walk up to a police officer, his vehicle, and just look in, I can do that. You're protected. They can ask you to step back, but if you're on a public sidewalk, say, and they're parked next to the street, then if you're standing on the public sidewalk, you can stand there and film in their vehicle if you want to. They don't like it, but you can do it. Well, one of the officers, that first encounter, walked up and was looking in my vehicle. I've got tinted windows, so you can really only see in maybe the front seat, and he looked on the side where I have my refrigerator, so all he saw was just the black top of the refrigerator. So there's nothing he could see anyway. But I'm sure he's looking for beer or, you know, something else, that because they did have the no alcohol visible and or no, you know, drinking. So anyway, I didn't have any out or any available when they got there. So anyway, they kind of informed me, they educated me, if you will, on what it is that I needed to do, that I needed to go in and get that specific permit by date. And part of the requirement was that I did the entrance fee. So no problem, did that. That was towards the evening of the first day. The second day, the next day that I was there, that morning around 10:30 or 11, there were three officers, three vehicles, three officers came at that basically all at the same time, and they all converged on my location, and they didn't get out of their vehicles, but one of the vehicles is you know, facing my direction, so of course they've got their dash cameras and they're doing whatever they want to do as far as their electronic surveillance or whatever, which by the way is a key phrase that I'm going to use in just a second. But they didn't confront me, so I really hesitate to count them as a, you know, a number of the 7. But within a 24-hour period, I had 5 officers visit my site to that point. Around 5:30 or 6, yeah, it's around 5:30 or 6. 2 other officers showed up at my location. One pulled in, and I was sitting, got my canvas like that. I was sitting underneath my canvas, facing Sarah, and he came from the front of in front of my vehicle, came around and drove right up to just about where the canopy is, and then backed up far enough to where he had full view. And I am not sure if I'm going to mention the officer by name, but I kind of have a feeling I will. In fact, what I'm probably going to do is post his business card, because I did ask for it before he left. And he sat in his vehicle for probably about 2 or 3 minutes while I'm just standing there waiting for whatever it is that he has to say, or whatever it is that he wants to talk to me about. And while he's sitting in his vehicle, the second vehicle came up and was basically just facing the side of his vehicle, right next to him. That guy never got out of the vehicle. He just sat there and looked at me the whole time. But he never got out of the vehicle. I really hate to presume that he's securing a defensive position. I don't know. Who knows what goes on in their minds? I'm not even going to generalize, but it seems like, you know, that obviously, if nothing else, you plan for the worst and hope for the best in their profession. And I understand that completely, because in many cases they're dealing with hardened criminals, et cetera, you know, and who knows what they would expect from me. I really don't know. I mean, hell, if nothing else, run my plates. You don't find anything even as much as a speeding ticket for 30 years. I think I was 20 something whenever I got my last speeding ticket. Anyway, he sat in the vehicle the whole time staring at me. The other guy finally gets out after about 2 or 3 minutes. He gets out and he comes up and he starts talking to me. Of course, he's doing this, you know, the cordial asking questions, you know, where you at, where you from, where you going, where you been, yada, yada, yada.
How's it going?
Oh, well.
Doing all right?
I am.
Good deal. Good deal. Hanging out camping?
Yes.
Got a camping permit and all that?
Did you
aware
need to
that
see
food has to be secured up where a bear can't get to it?
Sure.
Okay. Good deal. How long are you gonna be here?
Just tonight.
Just tonight?
And I probably came across a little bit hesitant to answer the questions because I don't believe that I have to. In fact, it is a direct infringement on my Fourth Amendment rights for him to be asking me those questions, much less expecting me to answer them. And so I was relatively vague in my response. Generally speaking, I didn't give out a considerable amount of information. But the conversation kind of ensued. He asked about, you know, if I have the permit. I showed him the permit on my phone. had a screenshot of it, and he looked at it and asked if it was a screenshot because he's trying to move it around and couldn't do it. I guess to scroll to see more information than was available in the screenshot.
Did you need to see the permit? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll take a quick look at it.
Yeah, I think I took a picture of it.
Where are you from? Is it a screenshot or what is it?
It might be. Let me see if I've got enough service that I can go online and what is it?
In the Play Store, it's Go Outdoors VA.
That's it. Go. I'm also looking at Kentucky too, because that's where I'm headed. So,
What of Kentucky you going to?
I want to check out the Cumberland Gap.
Okay.
There it is. That is a screenshot. That shows the permit and my official number there with like the camping permit.
Okay. You got some ID on you that matches this date of birth?
February 26, 1968.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Just passing through, or
To be honest with you, it would answer the question a whole lot more if I wouldn't just give you one of these. And
Okay.
You can use it as a bookmark or throw it away or whatever. But I just travel around document everything on YouTube for historical purposes. Yorktown.
The only thing that I needed to provide in the screenshot was the fact that I bought the day pass and that I bought the permit to camp, and it has the dates that I was authorized to be there. That should have been enough, but apparently it wasn't. So I ended up having to go back online to that site and open it up and show online that I purchased these or downloaded. It's hard to say. I mean, I purchased the day pass, but you know, the camping permit was free. But then he wanted to see an ID to someone who matched this date of birth that was on this permit, which again is an infringement on my Fourth Amendment rights, because I didn't commit a crime, and if I didn't commit a crime, I don't have to ID. However, I do also know that it just opens up a whole new can of worms if I decide to, push that issue. I am getting to the point where I'm pretty close to sticking to my guns on that one, though. It is really bothering me whenever I do exactly what I'm supposed to do, and I'm still harassed in that case. But the harassment didn't even start yet, as far as I'm concerned, because after I showed the guy my ID, then he's talking about, what do you do? And I said, it'd probably be easier to answer all your questions if I just handed you one of my cards. And I gave him one of my Stoops There It Is cards. I gave him the card that shows that I'm on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, yada, 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 with a website. Here, here's my email address, name, JD. If you're really, really interested in what it is that I do, then you can go back and you can check out my videos. And hey, have you seen, and what was it he mentioned, Shot Tower? And I was like, no, I'm not sure what that is. And he goes, yeah, it's just right down the road. It's where they made the shots for the cannon during the Civil War. It's a building that's been there since 1807. Well, he didn't say the year. I've done some research since, and even went by and took a picture of it. But it was too dark, and that's actually part of the story as well. But anyway, the story was, hey, check out this building, because I told him that I like to get interesting perspectives from locals rather than just the historical aspects of it that most people already know, whether it's from books or whatever that they've read or learned in class. A little deeper, a little more information. And Shot Tower seemed like a pretty cool thing to check out. So I told him, yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow, whenever I leave, I'm gonna head out, but I'll go back down to Austinville, was the name of the town that Shot Tower is located. I'll go down and check it out, and and then I'm headed west. I'm gonna go into Kentucky. Yeah, okay, yeah, all right, cool. All right, hey, I'm gonna leave my vehicle here, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Thank you, Officer Harris. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay. Okay.
So he gets into the vehicle with the other guy that had been staring at me the whole time, hadn't even gotten out of his vehicle. Gets in that vehicle, they back off and they leave. He leaves his vehicle sitting there facing basically the front of my vehicle, sitting there facing me. Now, anybody who has any idea of what cops do with their vehicles knows that they have dash cams. You know that. They have body cams, they have dash cams, they document everything. And there's no way in hell that you, him, or anybody else can convince me that he didn't have his dash cam on while he was driving off. The whole time we were talking for sure, and then just didn't go to his vehicle. Gets in the vehicle with his buddy and drives off. So they drive off. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so now I'm basically being video surveilled in this campsite that I have paid for and secured legally, proven it beyond a shadow of a doubt, and now I'm in a fishbowl. I'm on display for their entertainment, I guess. I'm not real sure exactly what it was for, but in this case, he left his vehicle there and he was gone. A few minutes. So okay, cool. An hour later, still not there. And I'm thinking, I was listening to an audible, so a book. So I just turned it on and just sat back in my chair, just like this, kind of leaned my head back and was just sitting and listening. I had a bottle of water. Every once in a while, I'll drink my bottle of water. Obviously, he was thinking that I was dumb enough to not know that he had his video on me and that I'd go over and grab a beer or something. Take a couple of swigs off of a Jameson bottle or something. I don't know. And after about an hour, I started thinking, I really am more conscious of my actions than I probably would be. Like, for instance, if I needed to take a pee, and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to walk over behind my vehicle and I'm going to take a pee in the woods like anybody else would do. And what is he trying to get that on camera to try to use that against me? I'm not real sure. I wasn't real sure at all exactly why he did what he did, but he did it nonetheless. And I ended up just deciding, I'm just going to break down my camp and leave. 7 o'clock in the evening, just about as it's getting dark, I start tearing down my camp, putting everything away, packing it up completely. Got everything in drive mode, and I've mentioned in the past that I have the 3 modes. I have drive mode, camp mode, and sleep mode. And it was in camp mode at the time. I hadn't even gone into sleep mode, to go to bed, because it was too early. I wasn't planning on it. And so I got into drive mode and checked everything out, made sure everything was secure, and then I left. I drove to Kentucky. I ended up staying in Middletonville, or whatever it's called, whatever this town is. Probably should figure that out. It's the town where Lee Majors is from. That's the only thing that sticks in my mind. And slept in the parking lot at the slept in the Walmart parking lot, in the driver's seat in the Walmart parking lot for the night. I got here. I left at 7. I got here at about 7:30. From there, I got here at about midnight, 1 o'clock, somewhere between midnight and 1 o'clock. And just killed the vehicle and just leaned back and went to sleep. Crashed, slept till 6 a.m. and then got up and went about my business. Found a decent campsite to camp yesterday actually, spent the night, and today again, second day or 2 days after this encounter with this police officer, that I started thinking about it. I was in a campsite that was legal. I procured the documentation that I needed to prove it. It's in a database. I'm quite certain that there's a computer-generated list of people who are staying in that area. It couldn't be that long, and it certainly wouldn't be obscure when it talks about a 54-year-old male that is sleeping, or that is driving in a silver Xterra with my license plate number on the document in it as well. That they wouldn't be able to just determine, drive up and say, yep, there's a silver Xterra, yep, license plate matches, take off. No, they want to come in and they want to harass. Now, it might seem like I'm actually irate or upset about it. I'm not at all. I'm disappointed more than anything else. And the thing about that disappointment is that I feel like I'm in a position where I really don't have a leg to stand on, unless I want to get belligerent, unless I want to get stupid and have them dig deeper and try to find something else that they can hem me up about. Which, by the way, when you talk to and answer police officers' questions, that's pretty much the only reason they're asking you the questions that they're asking. They have no real interest in you or what you're doing or who you are or where you're from. No real interest at all. They're just trying to loosen it up so that you will say something about, hey, I'm just hanging out here drinking beer, just doing my thing. Oh, really? Well, you're not supposed to, whatever. What my major objective at this point was just to get it out there, to show that even though you may be doing the right thing, you still have to, watch yourself, because I don't understand. I have no idea why the gentleman chose to leave the vehicle there. And he may have had something to do. He may have had something that was really important that he needed to get to. But it wasn't like it was a call that he had to go quickly and jumped in the vehicle and left. And he could have gotten in his vehicle and he could have moved it to just down the road. There's a pull-off that was available to them, and anything else. And of course, his argument would be, well, you're parked here. This is legal. This is a public place. So why can't I park here? Yeah, park your vehicle facing me, with your camera on, surveilling me, basically. Yeah, so annoyed and disappointed, I guess, is probably the best way to sum it up. And I don't want to ramble. I don't want to, keep talking about something. Well, the expression is, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. But it is pretty frustrating. It is pretty disappointing that, that I would be treated that way for absolutely no reason. And again, I would challenge this officer if you were, for whatever reason, I can't imagine why, but if you were, for whatever reason, watching this video and you disagree with my assessment, I challenge you to confront me on this, because I don't know, I'd feel like you know what you've done. So, having said that, I think that I basically will go ahead and just, call it a day and sum it up. I as I say to you, I wish you all the best always. I wish officers and their challenges that they face, I wish them all the best always. I just wish that there was a way that there could be more human interactions between individuals and police officers, but by virtue of the position that they're in and the job they do, I don't think they can. I don't think, because it would be too much like letting down their guard, which is ironic because they can't let their guard down, and you too end up being on guard, even if you have nothing to be on guard for. I don't know if there is an answer to that. If anybody has one, please let me know. Leave it in the comments. And maybe we can come up with some kind of a solution. If it's even a problem. It may just be me talking and it goes nowhere else. But I just wanted to bring it up because I didn't feel right about it. I mean, I've thought about it, like I said, for the last 2 days. And I wanted to express my opinion, express my feelings. And there it is.
Well, I came in after midnight last night, so I didn't get a chance to check it out, but this is a Walmart in Kentucky. What is the name of the town? I think the most interesting part about it is that it's the town that Lee Majors is from. But the terrain is pretty cool too. I mean, obviously we're in the Appalachian Mountains. Thought I'd get some groceries, use the bathroom of course, and get myself ready for my day.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
All the best, always.
Wanna come down to the underground old school? There's a shovel, can you dig it, fool? Can you dig it?